Okay, this is Prophet Rohei Nabi signing in, saying shalom to everybody, the worldwide audience. Today, we want to talk about our talents. Today, we want to talk about our talents. Based on Matthew chapter 25. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30 is what we're going to look at. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30. Okay. I'm going to try to keep you all focused on the kingdom of heaven. Lately, you have been seeing that I've been sticking with the parables. And one reason why I'm sticking with the parables, because when you go over to Luke chapter 9, and the disciples wanted to make a tabernacle for Joseph, Moses, Elijah, and Yeshua, they heard a voice from heaven that said, "This is my son, hear him." So if God comes to the earth, all right, what's going on, Mega Earth? Shalom to you, brother. Good to see you. Long time no see. Hope all is well with you and the fam. Just Teach, what's going on? Shalom to you. Perry Gibson, shalom. Good to see you all. So let's look at that. Let's go over there. Let's go to that. Luke 9. Luke chapter 9, where is that at? Let's see. Well, we're going to bypass that for right now. But when they offered to make a tabernacle for Moses, Elijah, and Yeshua, the Father's voice came from heaven and said, "This is my beloved son, hear ye him." In other words, no, nobody else is on par with my son. Nobody, not Elijah, not Moses, not Joseph, not Daniel, nobody. Hear him. So if the Most High comes to the earth in the person of his son, guess who I'm going to focus on the most? I'm going to focus on what the son said. That's not knocking nobody else in the Bible. I'm just going to put an extra focus on what comes actually out of God's mouth. I'm going to put, a matter of fact, and when I analyze anything else in the Bible, I'm going to look at it in light of what Yehoshua has said. That's how I'm going to study the Bible. That's how I study the Bible. So because of that, we're going to look at Matthew. We'll take a peek at Matthew chapter 25. You notice that I've been talking about the talents in the past few broadcasts. The parable of the talents of Israel. Let's look at Matthew chapter 25. Let's start at verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man traveling into a far country, who calleth his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. The servants of prophets, Amos 3:9, 3:7, 3:7 and 8. And unto one servant he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1. And to now listen to this very carefully, because you have a lot of black people that think about equality. They think about equality. Well, if there's equality, why does he give 1 5, 1 2, and 1 1? See, we keep reading over this stuff, not internalizing it, not thinking critically about the information that we're reading. Everybody's not equal, y'all. And this scripture is going to tell us everybody's not equal. Watch this. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability. Everybody's not the same, y'all. Everybody's not the same. Everybody's not supposed to be the same. Every snowflake is different. Every single one. You can't find 2 snowflakes that look the same. But we believe in equal rights. Well, I'm not really for that right now. We've been beat down at the bottom for so long. I'm not interested in equal rights in no way, shape, or form. Economically, politically, educationally, health, I'm not looking for it. I don't want it. I want superior rights. That's what I want now. That's what I want now. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. Then he had received the 5. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded. Where did he trade at? The bank. Where did he trade at? The storehouse. Where did he trade at? The place that he was a householder of. Israel. Israel is the bank of the Most High in the earth. Not PNC, not Farmers Bank. Not the Bank of London. Then he that had received 5 talents went and traded. How did he trade them? By sowing seeds in the kingdom, sowing his talents in the kingdom bank, the lives of kingdom citizens. That's how he traded. The stock market of the Most High, and made them other 5 talents. He grew his talents by sowing them in the lives of other Israelite citizens who were dependent upon the storehouse, or if you want to call it, the bank of the Most High, or if you want to call it, the place that the prophets have household over. And so he multiplied his talents. So here you have men and women who are multiplying their talents. If they know how to do construction, they teach somebody in Israel. They teach somebody in Israel the talent of sewing, the talent of plumbing, the talent of cooking, the talent of baking. That's how you beef up the storehouse. Uh-oh, 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 I'm on fire now. That's how you build up the bank of Israel, by sharing, teaching your talents, embellishing your talents on the people of Israel. That's how you build up the storehouse. You don't just build it up by putting money in it. You got to put your talents into it. Oh boy, I'm about to start preaching now. You build up the bank of Israel by putting your time. Yes, time is a talent. Oh, y'all don't want to hear it now. Now y'all don't want to hear it. Time is a talent. The fruits of the Spirit are talents. Some are more skillful at some fruits of the Spirit than others. Some are more experienced at other fruits of the Spirit than others. He gives every man according to his several ability. You can't be a part of the kingdom and don't have no talent. It's something that the Most High has put in you to embellish upon his bank, his storehouse. Shalom, Yashon. Good to see you, brother. Shalom. Bring ye all the tithes into my storehouse. Bring ye all the talents to my storehouse. Why? So there can be meat in my house. Meat also represents substance. Ah, see? It don't just represent food. It represents substance. You bring your love to the bank of the Most High, so there will be substance in the kingdom. Bank. People should be able to bank on our love for each other. See, we think tithe is just money. We think tithe is just fruits and grains, apples and oranges. But what about the intangibles? Time, love. Ah, see, we don't think about bringing that to the storehouse. But the fruits of the Spirit ought to be abundant. Why do you think they call them fruit of the Spirit? Fruit, F-R-U-I-T, fruits of the Spirit. because these are spiritual foods, spiritual meat. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat or food in my house. What kind of food? Spiritual food. What kind of food? Literal food. What kind of food? Apples, oranges, corn, carrots, broccoli, bananas, pears, watermelons, cantaloupe, honeydew melons. It's a real kingdom, y'all. We're being selfish. We should be bringing our children to the storehouse. We should be dedicating our children to the bank of the Most High, so his kingdom can be built. But instead, we take our children and put them in public schools. So they'll go there for 12 years and at the end be public fools. And thereby doing that, we rob the Most High. We call ourselves the people of the Most High, but our children are dedicated to the public food system. When our children should be a talent that is dedicated to the kingdom, the storehouse of the Most High. Instead, though, they aspire to the storehouse of the enemy. Matthew 25:17. And likewise, he that had received two, he also gained other two. I'm still here. But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. What does the earth here represent? The earth represents everything carnal. The earth represents everything that's below the kingdom. The earth represents everything that's low, in opposition to the kingdom. This servant was robbing the Most High. This servant was robbing the Most High. He took his talents and buried them in worldliness. He buried them in the other nation. He took his children and dedicated them to the public school system and trained his children to be just like the world. That's what it means to bury your children in the earth. Bury your talents into the earth. The only thing we've trained our children to do is to run in the rat race of white supremacy and make it stronger and more virulent against us. Matthew 25:19. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoned with them. This reckoning here, y'all, is the judgment of the living. Ezekiel chapter 9, Revelation chapter 7, Daniel chapter 2, verse 44, 45. 1 Peter 4:17. That's what this is right here. It's a judgment that's taking place. Separation of the wheat and tares, Matthew chapter 13, verse 30. That's what this is right here. He's coming to do a reckoning. He's going to audit his servants. It didn't say Esau. You know, we obsessed with that kind of stuff. No, he said his servants. Hebrew Israelites love to beat the drum about who the servants is, but they don't beat the drum about this. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. Boy, what a beautiful testimony. You gave me 5 talents and I got 10 now. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. He also had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. Very, 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 very encouraging report that these 2 servants are giving. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Think about that, y'all. The invitation is given to us to enter into the joy of the Lord. Wow. You can't beat that. This is the only thing that we should be alive for, is to enter into the joy of the Lord. Wow, that's deep. He gives us the invitation to enter into his joy. He's going to share it with us. Wow. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawn. So this guy knew. He went into this knowing that he needed to have a return on investment. He knew that. Verse 25, Matthew 25:25. And I was afraid. You can't serve the Most High with fear, y'all. I was afraid. And you can't use fear as an excuse either. I was afraid, and I went and hid thy talent in the earth. Now, let me break this down to you. I've done it already, but I'm going to break it down again. When he says here, I was afraid, what he means is he didn't want to spend his resources, his time, his wealth, his love on loving his own people. He thought it was a waste of time. He thought that they were not worthy. So what he did is took the money and buried it in the earth. Listen to what it says, y'all. I went and hid thy talent in the earth. I hid it in another nation. That's all that means, y'all. That I thought was more productive. I looked at them as being more powerful, more smart, more beautiful. I took your talents and I buried it in these people here. Well, there's a big problem here. The Most High would not give you a talent to build up somebody else's kingdom, but that's exactly what black people do, and we brag about it. Here, this guy is bragging about it. He is casting an insult to the one who gave him the talent. The only reason why he gave you a talent is so you could bless his people, but you went and did and buried it in the earth. Verse 26. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I had not sown, and gathered where I had not strawn. You knew that. But yet and still, verse 27, thou oughtest therefore have had put my money to the exchangers. Now in Luke 9, it says, thou should have put my money in the bank. It literally says bank. Let me look at that scripture. What's that? Luke 9:23. It actually says bank. Oh, hold on a second. What's that? Luke 19? Is it 19:23? Yeah, it's Luke 19:23. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank? I already told you what the bank was, y'all. The bank is a people, not a place. The bank is a nation of people before it's a place. That's it. The homeless, the fatherless, those that don't have jobs, those that don't have skills, the widows, that the people who just got out of jail, that's the bank of the Most High. The Israelites. That's the storehouse. The Israelites are the storehouse of the Most High in the earth. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. The usury here is taking your talents and embellishing it on the lives. You want an example of the usury? No problem. Let's go to Acts chapter 4, verse 32. I'm going to show you biblical usury that is being discussed here. I'm going to show you the interest rate, the ROI. Let's look at Acts chapter 4, verse 32. You want to see what usury looks like? I'll help you. You want to know what usury looks like? In Luke 19:23, And in Matthew 25:27, this is what Yehoshua means when he says usury. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of anything which he possessed was his own, but they had all things in common. That's an example of usury right there. But if that's not enough, let's keep going. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Mashiach Yehoshua. And great grace was upon them all. That's the usury. When the Most High's people start sharing and blessing each other, that's the usury that he's looking for. That's the rate of increase that he's looking for. Verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked. That's the ROI. Nobody lacked anything. That's the rate of increase. Notice it doesn't say the apostles didn't lack anything. No, neither was there any among them that lacked. That's including the apostles. Not only the apostles, not only the pastor, not only the prophets, not only the bishops, not only the preachers, not only the evangelists, but it says nobody lacked nothing. Everybody was taken care of, not just the pastor, not just the deacons, not just the elders. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many were possessors of land and houses, sold them and brought the prices of the thing that were sold. Nobody lacked anything. That's the increase. That's the usury. And laid them down at the apostles' feet. And watch this. Here's the usury. Here's the usury. Here is that there may be meat in my house. Here's that part right there. Look at this. The next phrase. And
Y'all didn't get the jar?
Yeah, we took it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, she's at work. She get off at 6.
Okay.
So I'm back, y'all. But as I was saying, I was talking about the interest rate. I was talking about the interest rate. When we have done it to the least of these, my brethren, we have done it unto me. That's what Yehoshua said. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. In verse 40. Matthew 25:40. I'm going to post that scripture. Matthew 25:40. I'm going to post it. Hey, Bati, Zavidra, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
How was your day? Great, great, great. Matthew 25:40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, you want to know what the interest rate is? You want to know what the interest rate is? I just posted it. This is the interest rate. This is the usury. This is the ROI, rate of increase. It's right here in Matthew 25:40. You've been reading over it the whole time and didn't even know it. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. That's the interest rate for the bank of the Most High. What you thought it was 7% interest, 9.3% interest rate? No, it's not that kind of interest rate. His ways are not like the ways of the most of man. When he talks about usury, he's talking about how are your talents making my kingdom great? How are your talents making my people great? How is your talents making your family greater, holier, have my character? That's what he means by interest rate. This is the interest rate right here. The interest rate of the Most High is all throughout the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. Wherever you see souls being saved, wherever you see people in the Bible being set free from sin, that's the interest rate. Wherever you see people practicing the fruits of the Spirit, that's the interest rate. Wherever you see people being redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, that's the interest rate. Repenting of sin, that's the interest rate. These are the types of things that make the bank of the Most High powerful. All powerful. Let's look at Acts 4:36. And Joas, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite and of the country of Cyprus. Look what happens here. We're about to see the interest rate jump. We're about to see the interest rate jump. There's about to be a big jump in the interest rate. Watch this. Having land, sold it and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet. There you go. The interest rate just jumped. The storehouse just got filled up more. You see? See that? That's that usury. That's that usury. That money that they lay at the apostle feet is used to bless other families in the kingdom, thereby making the interest rate jump. And he said, when you've done it to the least of these, you've done it to me. You see? This is how the Most High receive his usury, when we share with each other, when we love each other, when we shower each other with the fruits of the Spirit. When I treat your family like my family, I respect your wife like my wife. I respect your children and protect your children like they're mine. That's how you make the interest rate jump. That's how you bring all the tithes in the storehouse, that there may be meat. The meat is just not tangible things, y'all. The meat is character development. We never seen no kingdom like this in the history of the world. I want to show you this. Acts chapter 2, verse 2. No, verse 1. Let's look at verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord and in one place. See? When just a handful of us, y'all, get together in one place on one accord, that's when we're going to be able to start sharing with each other. That's when we're going to be able to start having unity with each other. In Acts chapter 2, verse 1, it says, and when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord and in one place. That sets the stage for the usury, the spiritual usury, the spiritual ROI to take place. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 25. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 25. Let's look at verse 28. Matthew 25, 28. Take therefore the talent from him and give it to him which hath 10 talents. Yep. Look at this, y'all. Y'all say everybody is equal. Well, if everybody is equal, why is he taking one talent from another guy and giving it to another guy who already got 10? How are they equal? How are they equal? How are they equal? And one took his talent and buried it in the earth, and the other one took his talent and sold it in the kingdom. How are they equal? I'm just trying to figure this out because, white people have convinced us that everybody should be equal because they are beneath us. They're supposed to be below us. So they always trying to push equality, intersectionality, and all this garbage. There's no equality, y'all. There's equity, but not equality. Oh. Take therefore the talent from him and give it to him which have 10 talents. Look at that. Let's look at that. Let's go over to Matthew chapter 13. And let's look at verse, I think, 11. Look at this. He answered and said unto them, because it's given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And when he says not given to them, he's talking about Israelites, wicked Israelites, slow and hard of hearing Israelites, rebellion. It's not given to them, y'all. I know they're Israelites, but they're not. They're the children of Satan. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. So they're going to end up with nothing, y'all. And because they're going to end up with nothing, they're not going to have any part in the kingdom because they have nothing to bestow. When they did have something, guess what they did? They took it and buried it in the earth. That's what the Bible says. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Let's go back over to Matthew chapter 25. Let's look at verse 29. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But to him that hath not shall be taken away, even that he hath. When it says right here, him that hath not, what that means is him that hath not seek first the kingdom. All people that have not been seeking the kingdom first, the Most High is going to take away whatever they had and give it to the person who did so into the kingdom. That's what that means right there. That's exactly what that means right there. Verse 30. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. You see? I didn't want to keep y'all long. But I want to touch on something before I leave. And I hope you can bear it. I hope you can bear it. Just a moment. you know what? I want to touch on something right quick. I want to touch on Matthew 19:20. Because this scripture keep popping up in my head. Matthew chapter 19:20. The rich young ruler said, all these things I have kept. What do I still lack? What lack I yet? He said, all these, in Luke 18:21, he said, all these I have kept from my youth, he said. He said, oh, you kept all of them, right? Yeah, okay, so you really love the kingdom. Yeah, Lord, I love the kingdom. I kept the commandments all the way from a baby. Oh, okay, man, all right. A little knuckle bump. But then the tide changes in this conversation. The tide changes drastically in this conversation. And this is what we read. Matthew 19:20. The young man said, all these things I have kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? What do you lack yet, y'all? Each one of us should be asking ourselves that question. Yehoshua said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, watch this now, go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor. Watch this. And thou shalt have treasures in heaven. This is how the Most High receives usury on our talent. When we sow into the kingdom, the treasury of heaven is expanded. The bank of heaven has received a copious deposit. And come and follow me. You want to see what the interest rate in heaven looks like? I just read it to you. Matthew 19:20 and 21. But look what happened. Verse 22. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowfully, for he had great possessions. He didn't want to sow them into the kingdom. He didn't want to improve the lives of black people in the ghetto. He didn't want to improve the lives of DOAs, descendant of slaves. He didn't want to do that. His heart wasn't with Israel. His heart wasn't with the bank of the Most High. He didn't want to prove that the Most High was good to him because he loved his riches more than he loved the Most High. This is how you know you're dealing with a demon right here. I hope I broke this down to you. I hope I gave you some more information about the interest rate of heaven, the usury of heaven, the storehouse of heaven. So from now on, whenever you see somebody collecting tithes and offerings, see if they make distribution right after they start collecting it. See if they start spreading it out, or do they take it straight to our enemies' banks and let it sit up in there? We have devils right in front of us, but we don't want to recognize them because they talk soft, they wear three-piece suits, and they have their hair slicked back or a big bald head and some nice clean glasses. So we think, oh, okay, they legit. No, if they taking the money and running straight to the bank with it, that means they hate you. That means they hate black people. I don't care how black the pastor is. They hate black people. They are a shrill for white daddy and white mommy. Our neighborhoods are filled with sellouts. How are you going to say a person is not a sellout, but they take your money straight to the enemies and deposit it in their bank? How is it that you can't be no sellout if you do that? You're not a sellout. Or, well, all pastors do that, brother. What you saying? All of them are sellout? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If all of them are taking the money to the bank and they know that these people are our oppressors and they redline our community and they don't give us loans, yes, that's a sellout. If you didn't know what a sellout is, I'm telling you right now. I know we love white mommy, white daddy. I know it's going to be hard to convince some of y'all. I know. You put all your money in your enemy's bank so your people can't get access to it. And you going to tell me that's not a sellout? You literally took the money. You literally took your own people's money and deposited in your enemy's trust. And you're going to tell me that's not a sellout? Boy, we got, see, we are our own worst enemy. But anyway, I'm going to stop right there. This is Prophet Rohei Nabi, family prophet to the angel of the church to the Laodiceans who are Israelites. You all have a wonderful day. I'm out. Shalom.